Welcome back to my channel once again. This is second video in the series of operation management. Under operation management, we are doing design processes. And in last video, if you've not seen, I will put it in the I button and in the description box. Do check out. We did outsourcing under process planning. Moving forward, we'll be doing process selection. Okay, so what is process selection? So basically, so the next step of planning is to select the production process for those items we will produce in-house. So which are outsourced that we discussed in last video will be outsourced, right? But there 100% of the products, 100% of the material that we use in our product are not outsourced. So things that are not outsourced, which are produced in our manufacturing, can be classified into basically projects, batch production, mass production, and continuous production. As you can see, we'll go one by one through each of them, and I will talk about those. Starting with projects. So projects take a long time to complete, involve a large investment of resources, funds, and produce one item at a time to consumer order. Okay. For example, if you take construction projects or shipbuilding projects or a new product development, aircraft manufacturing, such things come under projects which are not produced daily, like it's not produced one after another. A lot of investment, resources, and everything is put together to make a project. Second is batch production. Batch production processes many different jobs through the production system at the same time in groups or batches. Okay, so these products are typically made according to the customer's order volume in terms of customer order size, and demand fluctuates accordingly. These products are made. Example of batch production include printers, bakeries, food, furniture making, and all such things are made in production. So basically, whatever the customer demands at a time, suppose someone is making a new house and there is a demand for a interior of hall. So according to that, the producer will make the goods, or according to the demand. Suppose IKEA is making its furniture, so what it will not continuously produce same things. It will produce looking at the market. It will produce by seeing what the consumer wants right now. Accordingly, a batch is being produced. Once how that batch, customers, how they react to the batch, if they want more of those batch or they don't want more of it, or they want a new style, new system, accordingly these batch productions are done. Next is the mass production. Mass production produces large volumes of standard product for a mass market. Products demand is stable and product volume is also high. Goods that are mass produced includes automobiles, television, personal computers, fast food, and most consumer goods. So basically, what is mass production? Suppose if we take example of Parle-G, we know that people in market, continuously there are many people who go for Parle-G. So it is a stable product, a high volume, because it is popular all over India and everyone can afford it. So everyone does buy it. Some buy it out of necessity, and some buy it as a snack or whatever. So basically, that is one thing that is always wanted in market. Its supply chain is very high, its volume is very high, so it is a mass production. It is produced in a bigger volume and quantity. Next is the continuous production. Continuous production is a very high volume commodity product that are very standardized. The system is highly accommodated, and it is typically an operation. So typically it is made 24 hours a day For example, bottled water, paints, foodstuffs, and refined oil. So if you see bottled water, mineral water, uh, so if you compare to the last one, that is mass production, that we took an example Parle-G, compared to that, mineral water is more sold. Like there are on every nook and corner you will get water. Everyone say H2O is, suppose you take H2O, that is mineral water, is necessity. If you go out, you need water, whatever. So for XYZ reason, this thing such as refined oil, suppose in India currently, uh, oil, some oil is one thing, second is water, um, and other foods like the FMCG products. This come under continuous production, and basically they are produced 24 by 7 in shifts and everything. So because their volume is much bigger than the mass production, and their demand is much more than mass production, also they are more standardized goods compared to mass production goods. Okay, so if you see, in this chart, the best process strategy is found in a diagonal of the matrix. Companies or products that are off this diagonal have either made poor process choices or have found means to execute a competitive advantage. Let's take an example for this also. So technological advancement is flexible automation allows niche production cars in a crafted, customized fashion. Example of poor process choice includes Texas Instruments attempt to produce consumer products of for mass markets by same process that had been successful in the production of scientific products for specific markets. So basically, to summarize the characteristics of each type of process, as we move from projects to continuous production, demand volume increases, products become more standardized as we go high the um, diagonal. If you climb the ladder, the standardization of the products increases, systems become more capital intensive, more automated, less flexible, and customer becomes less involved in the production, like in giving their point of view that what they want. For example, if you take the batch production where I gave the idea of example of IKEA. If you see here in batch production, IKEA makes one sort of things for one batch, and if the consumers don't it doesn't appeal to the consumers, the next batch will be different, because IKEA wants to keep doing its business. Whereas for continuous production, for mineral water, people don't have choice. Like people have choice in brands, but what it is at the end of the day, mineral water you can't change. There's very less say of customers or the consumers in this, plus so there is 19-20 का फर्क between any mineral bottle you take. Why? Because consumers can't have a say in it, because the companies basically are just taking water, purifying it, and making it safer to drink and supplying it to them. That is it. So there is no much flexibility or for the producer, for the manufacturer, nor for the customers. Okay. So this is what is process selection. I have put here a, what I can say, a table type. So it gives types of processes. The type of product supposes for project it is unique. For batch production, made to order, that can be customized. Mass production, it is made to stock, and continuous production is in commodity. Type of customer for a project is one at a time. Batch production is few individual customers. Mass production is a mass market, and again continuous production is also a mass market. Demand is low for projects. Demand is low to medium for batch production. Mass production demand is very high. No, for mass production I mean the demand is high, but for continuous production the demand is very high. For project, there are a lot of variety possible, an infinite amount of variety possible. For batch production, many slash varied amount of products are possible. For mass production, it becomes less. That is, there is few different types of products, and if you go to continuous production, as I said in the distillery example, I mean, there are several brands, but there are not a lot of products in it, right? All the products are same. There is no much variation in it because there is no flexibility in it. For projects, the production system it's a long term process. It cannot be done. Uh, Today we decided that the market wants this project. Suppose someone is making a building on a 1 acre land. It is a very big project. It is not a small project that is decided today and executed within a year's time. It takes a lot of investment. It takes a lot of energy, lot of planning, planning that how because for such projects, once suppose a building is made, it is ready, and what if the flats don't sell? What if this that area there is some issue and people are not the price is high or go I don't know, for XYZ reasons, there is a lot of thinking to be done before starting a project. For batch production, it is discrete slash job shops. Mass production, it is repetitive and repetitive assembly lines. Whereas, as I told, in continuous production, it is a 24 by 7 production. Equipment for a project varied. For now, I take example of building. Suppose for making building, there is not just one or two equipments. There are so many things that one needs to make it right. First, construction. Suppose I take and suppose construction is an example. Making a metro and flat like the buildings, both are construction, but what are the equipments? There are a lot of change in plans and everything, a lot of different equipments for both. For batch production, it's a general purpose. Mass production, specific purpose. And for continuous production, highly automated. For example, making mineral water. Suppose there I take two brands, one is Bisleri and one is some other brand. Both, what do they need? Bottles, they need water, they need purification system. Basically these three things only they need. So it is highly automated. Okay, it is not subject to one thing. Projects, primary type of work is specified contracts, like government gives specified contracts to L&T to make stations, to make airports. So that is a specified project. In batch production, it is fabrication. Mass production is an assembly, and primary type of work for an continuous is refining, treating, mixing. So basically, in continuous production, you don't have to do much. You just have, so that is the product is ready. You just have to make it in a way that the consumer can use it. You don't have to make it from scratch. For refining refined oil, you don't have to actually make oil. Suppose you take groundnut oil, you want to make groundnut oil, you need groundnut for those. So I think you get what I'm trying to say. For moving ahead for project, what are the advantages? Customer work, latest technology. For batch, flexibility and quality, specific speed, low cost, high efficiency, ease of control. Disadvantages of project are non-repetitive, small customer base, very expensive. For batch production, costly, slow, difficult to manage. Mass production, capital investment, lack of responsiveness. For continuous production, difficult to change, far reaching errors, limited variety. As I said, projects, see, I'm giving examples: construction, shipping, shipbuilding, spacecraft. For batch production, machine shops, printers, bakeries, education. Mass production, automobiles, televisions, computers, fast foods. Continuous production, paints, chemicals, foodstuffs, and all those things come under this. I hope that you have understand what is process selection from this video. The next video that will be coming up will be either on a process selection with break even analysis, and maybe after that process analysis, or first the process analysis and then I will take example. I don't know, I will put it in the I button once that is short. Thank you so much. So do like, share and subscribe.